Hey, thanks, Heather. Well, this real estate market, if you're looking to sell your home, you know, it's tough, and you're looking for every edge you can, trying to get every dollar out of the home. Well, our real estate expert, Lou Ortiz, is here today to talk about some of the simple things you can do to increase the value of your home and maybe get a few more dollars out of it. Good to see you again,
Great
Louis.
to see you, Mark. How you doing?
Good. Hey, before we get to this, let's just get a quick update on us in the market here right now.
Sure. Well, you know, it's really interesting. Normally at this time of the year, we start to see increases in inventory, usually in spring and summer, and then it tapers at the end
Meaning
of the
people
year.
putting their homes for sale, up
Yeah.
for sale, so there's more homes for sale
Right.
out there, okay?
And what's interesting is actually year over year, we're down about 31% for detached properties. So it looks like inventory levels are starting to come down just a bit.
Now, if inventory levels come down and the demand remains, then that would lead me to believe that prices would start to elevate then, I would hope.
Yeah, I think it's some signs of improvement, but I think that if you look at what a lot of that inventory is, a lot of it are short sales and foreclosures. I think that it's still going to be a while to get through that inventory, but it is a positive sign that we are seeing a slight decrease in inventory.
There is progress,
Yes,
anyway,
absolutely.
and there's a process that we have to go through,
Absolutely.
and it's not all great, as we
Yes.
know. Okay, let's talk about these 6 things
Yes.
that we can do around the house that will make our home a little bit more appealing and maybe have a little more value.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you know, most people think of, you know, when they're looking at doing things to upgrade your property, you know, they look at kitchens and baths. But a few things that we can do is, you know, number one is, you know, getting an inspection. You know, this is something that's really overlooked a lot, and people can actually save a lot of money by having a property inspector come in and inspect. A lot of times, if they're thinking about selling the property, they can find things that maybe they didn't know were wrong with the home. And so there's a lot of advantages to having an inspection
And
done.
do those ahead of time, maybe
Absolutely.
before you've got a buyer on the hook here.
Absolutely.
And the inspector will let you know, hey, you know, this is something that's going to come up anyway. So why
Absolutely.
don't you get it done now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another thing is, you know, number two is, you know, these popcorn ceilings are really common for properties that were, you know, before, you know, 1975, 1980, and that actually can really improve the look of the property by simply removing that popcorn ceiling.
Now, you know, I never figured out what that stuff was for. Is it supposed to keep the noise down or something in the room? Is it like an insulation material? I never really even knew what it was. It's just, you know, I know it's not hip anymore, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know the reasons why they did it originally, but I do know that it was a stylistic, and sometimes they used to put some sparkly material. And one thing people need to be aware of, if it's before 1970, they do need to get it checked for asbestos. A lot of that asbestos was used in the popcorn ceilings.
Now, tip number 3 here is one of the best tips that you can possibly do because it's cheap, and if you don't like it, you can change it.
Absolutely, and you know, it's something that's really overlooked, and there's so many ways that painting can really change the look and value of a property. You know, I encourage people to use neutral colors because it will apply to a larger pool of buyers, but just a fresh coat of paint is very inexpensive and really can give a property a fresh look.
And talk about landscaping, you know, when you pull up to the house, you know, that's the first thing people see is the yard, but it doesn't have to be expensive landscaping.
No, absolutely. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of trimming a bush or a tree or going to your local hardware store and buying some very inexpensive flowers. You know, flowers can make such a big difference and really freshen up and liven up the place.
And now, getting to a little more detail here, you're seeking a little inspiration and some design ideas.
Sure.
And actually getting some help
Right.
with this.
You know, it's amazing. There's so many television shows, design magazines, articles where you can go through these things and get a lot of ideas. I've seen so many people go through these magazines and they find inspiration to remodel or to just add some splash to their property.
And it's not terribly expensive sometimes to just spend an hour maybe with a pro.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of interior designers are willing to come into a property for a free consultation. A lot of real estate agents also offer free design staging services where they'll come in and evaluate your property as well. And it's a service that really a lot of people don't know about and don't use, and it's a great way to find ways to improve your home inexpensively.
All right. Louis Ortiz, the market hopefully looking up here, and, you know, we'll be talking about buying and selling homes and the property values going back up again here before too long. But in the meantime, those are some great tips.
Yeah, some great ideas.
Okay,
So
great.
great to see you,
Thanks.
Mark.
Have a
Thanks.
good weekend.